Good morning. Welcome to the Breakfast Show. This is your host Martin Wong here. And indeed, the market continued to push up higher like we never seen it before. And of course, many of you who've been following us on from the live Facebook will probably be understanding why we are getting it. As such, many weeks I've been updating the members in here as well as the public how you can take advantage of whatever opportunity that you see. And most important, I think, is the education that you all will get following this channel in here. And of course, all these are powered by Pentagon Guided Trade from Trade VSA together with SmartRobie, and the morning focus will be on SmartRobie this morning here. A very good morning to all of you in here. But let's take a look at what we have for you in this morning. That's right. Now, definitely what we have seen so far, the KLCI continued to move higher, and one of the things that you can do is just type KLCI market today, switching to a wider chart here, and you can see many of the stocks, even AirAsia has gone up 7%, Dutch Lady 0.4, one of the big gainers. Top volume is DCHK, up 78%, must be a new listed stocks, and that's why we normally get this kind of classical is also moving up, which is a consumer stock. Irish is down, DNEX, the usual suspect in here. And what else we have here? Big decliner, MBI Technology, which is just a small percentage of downwards in here, and more to you to come. Let's take a look at what we have for you this morning in our agenda. Now, this morning, of course, the Breakfast Show has always been focusing a lot on the Robie FA stocks. That's right, Robie FA stocks, and also right now we are switching also to the stage 2 ST2 shares. Many of you may come across stage 2 shares. These are shares that is really moving up, and some of you may be interested to find out that shares is moving up and you want to capitalize on this opportunity, and this is what you will do. So use the SmartRobie and use the ST2 daily, or we can use those intraday if you are advanced in here. No doubt the KLCI has turned Green Pentagon and starting to test the higher, which is the 1420, which is, I think, will face some sort of resistance in here, but beginning to move higher. And of course, all these are powered by Pentagon Guider on SmartRobie, the using volume spreadness created by Tom Williams in here. All right, and of course, with the recent new launch that we have in the VSA 360, we also have the insider buying and selling in here. So let's take a look at the past winner, July 14, and these mainly are penny stocks that don't have much of a fundamental, but if you have the risk tolerance, this will prove to be a good one. One of them definitely looking at it is Ewin, which is a property developer based off in I do believe is in Penang in here, and with the election, that's why you're seeing a lot of this opportunity right now. We can see from here, this is from the Pentagon Guider from the SmartRobie. You can see even earlier as 28th of May, it did hit, wash out and hit the breakout. This is one of those stocks that are kind of very volatile. We can see a big move from 80 cents to 120, and do take note, the volume now it's getting a bit less, right? And sometimes you have to be a bit careful when the stocks has moved up this much, especially this much away from the market as such. We have to generally be a bit more careful from here. And why is that? Because if the market were to see some sort of sign of weakness, then there is a U-turn that you need to make. U-turn, come down, and that would be much better, isn't it? Right, so that is one of the Pentagon champion that we have seen in here. And so of course, let's move on to the VSA 360, something you check it out. And those of you who have not, you can always, beside using the SmartRobie, you can also check out our VSA 360 from a free trial from that. Now let's take a look this morning in here, switching to a wider chart and what is happening in the market. The market did hold the support at 1360, 1380, then turn Green Pentagon and break through that 40 MA, most important in here. And also we did see some big funds coming in the last 3 days. One of the highest turnover in terms of foreign fund coming in was about 129 million net inflow, which is a fair bit. Pretty much I've said before, if you've been following me on podcast, our market is largely dependent on the foreign fund flow. So when they do come in, the market definitely going to move up. But what we have seen also right now is the matter, the ringgit. Remember, the ringgit is strengthening right now, not so much due to the economic changes that we have. This is also due to the last week I've talked about the CPI figures, which was released from the US, and that's staging an era where we are likely to see inflation coming down, and that's why people are betting that interest rate is not going to be going higher, and any non-US currency like the ringgit, the Thai baht will strengthen, and that's what we have seen. So with this in mind, with the strengthening of the ringgit in the coming days, if not weeks, many foreign funds will flow into our market and likely to buy this market, and that's why we are seeing the railway track started to turn up. Of course, breaking that 1420 will be good. Then the stage 2 will intend to mark higher. So right now it's just peeping his head up there, and usually you will hit resistance and the market will pull back a bit and then sort of move sideways. And this is the kind of scenario that we are building now for our members as well, those public who's listening here. Give me a thumbs up if you like what you listen in here, and if you have any other comment, feel free to pencil those in, and I'm happy to sort of explain what's really happening in here. After all, I've been in this kind of a market explaining to everybody for the last, since COVID, going back to 2019 in here. So let's look at the more leading indicator. That's the VSA 360. Using the plugin in here is the futures. You can see futures also turn two big buying. You can see widespread bar on this bar here and another widespread bar. Usually this denotes foreign funds are really buying in here. The resistance at 1420, but right now as I'm making this chart, it did show an upthrust, and do be careful when you see upthrust. If the market end of the day end with an upthrust, you will see pullback on the side. But of course the railway track continued to cross up in here, and right now we have 4 bars. The blue trend zone started to turn up, and if this trend were to continue, now bearing in mind I have spoke about one of the seasonality statistic that comes up from the VSA 360 is the monthly seasonal. We have seen the last 6 months for the KLCI has been negative, so first time in July a positive in one, and I don't think we will see many coming negative months in here, because the market, like the KLCI, just like any other, the regional, will eventually play catch up. All right, so the catch up in here is going to be good. So make sure all of you who is listening in here stand by a kind of stocks that you are having, and that take opportunity. Market goes up, market goes down. I think that's more important, is to have a strategy, what you want to do, and that's intention of pretty much of our education channel in here. So if you look at SmartRobie, the focus now is on stage 2 shares. So if you just click on sticking up to the bigger chart here, go to, you can see on the middle screen, and what we want to be focused is the stage 2 shares. Now what is stage 2 shares? Stage 2 simply means that the trend is going up. As I said before, if you look at the overall index, it is in upward move. So stage 2 shares are those generally in the continuation, right? And you want to buy those shares that are able to push up, and you're going to look at ST2. All right, and we have about 12 of them. Pretty good run in here. We will look at something that I've talked about last week, was the 10th of July. Switching to a wider chart here. Now let me just switch to, because I want to show you the chart. So from here onwards, we have Penta and we have Glotronics, and definitely those two stocks has moved up a bit, and also YTL. Let's take a look at the first one, YTL REITs. That's from last week, and see how much of the movement has gone up. Look at the stock chart, stock comment. And you can see last week switching to the 1 month. I'm just going to mouse over them here. That's the 10. All right, and the market since pulled back slightly in here, and because it has been a great run for the technology stocks. Okay, next one we have the Glotronics. All right, Glotronics, and try it one more time. There you go, Glotronics, stock chart, stock comment, and then switching to a 1 month chart. Ooh, this one has been really moving up. So if you look back on the 10, which is a week ago here, right? A nice one. We did had a very nice big move and a nice uptrend in here. And these are, I do believe, I think Globetronic is one of the more high dividend paying. Check it out in here on the 360 VSA in here. Then we have Penta. All right, Penta, another technology, also move up in here. Let's take a look at Penta and go into the chart. All right, and nice one, big move here. And we go back on the 10th, which is this side here. Did have a line change, that's right, last Friday. And the big up move was on Friday. Hopefully we see the continuation. And for those of you who are more risk aversive, check out the Robie FA stocks. But those of you who are more risk tolerance, wanted to ride this so-called bullishness, which we've been talking about a fair bit in here, take those ST stage 2 shares. That was last week. Now this week in here, no more technology stocks. Okay, let's take a look at Insas, BJ Food, and also Foundpack. Okay, Foundpack is 5277. We can use 5277. Eat that one, click that one, click this again. Stock chart, stock comment to this morning is down, but you switch to 1 month chart, pretty good in here. Let's see next week, will we see a pullback or a up movement in here? This is sort of started the stage 2 in here, so give it a bit more room. Next on the list is BJ Food. So let's take a look at BJ Food here. Now, if you have any stocks that you want me to look at, Aku Grace in here. Sure, I'll take a look at Public Bank. No worries, we'll get to that. And you can see Public Bank here. This is a nice one, BJ Food. A really nice uptrend. Switching to a 1 month chart, you can see chart started to move up here. Now, some of you may, your friends may benefit from, a lot of this stuff. Do share our SmartRobie with them, especially right now. You can use it for free over the weekend and even after work. Then you can make better informed decision here. All right, next one we have is Insas. Right, Insas, stock chart, stock comment here. All right, Kevin Simmons asked the question about Pentagon flow. The higher, the better. But do take note, the best higher is better if it's trending up to answer the question mark. But we want to look for those generally in the 50 or 70%. So that way, the reward to the risk is much better. All right, I think many of you would have known that. All right, reward to risk, because that way you are risking small, you get more reward. But if the Pentagon flow are higher, means the market started to move up, you're risking more to get maybe the same amount. All right. A help, yes, you always have your A help. Yeah, Kevin, that's right. No point looking at it, just keep holding to it. Okay, your A help. All right, because if you're not going to be cutting or even taking profit in here, just hold on to it. Now this is Insas started to turn Green Pentagon, and on the left hand side you can see lots of low volume in here, and then we have the Green Pentagon which pick up some of the smart money movements. Then the stock started to pick up in here. So those are for this week. Of course next week come and join me again, and also don't forget this coming Wednesday I have another prepared talk at 9:30. Right, 9:30. If you could miss that, you can also pick up the video from the YouTube, or do join our newsletter where you'll be informed all our necessary educational program in here. Let's look at 10th of January. What has transpired? We look at two stocks, TH Plant, and this was last week when we pick it up at 52 cents. Almost unchanged, because the narrative that we've been talking about on the newspaper hasn't been that great for TH Plantation. And of course, all attention has been focused a lot on the technology. That's why you see Globetronics, and we see also Penta moving up nicely last week here. Okay, next we have is RC-Cap. RC-Cap, as I said before, you have this upthrust on top of you in here and generally pulls back, but you can see also we have the red Pentagon, right, still holding above the 220, but we have a small series of tests. Definitely you want to check out the VSA 360, whether the owner Tan Sri Hashim is continued to buy, because this one is more of a family play and it does get a lot of these stocks in here. So check out the VSA 360 for any of the insider buying on this kind of stocks here. All right. Now also subscribe to our free daily newsletter. So these are where I will review the morning newspaper in here and some of the news that corresponds to the Pentagon Guider. I will update you in here. Usually we send it out on 12 o'clock noon here. So make sure you go over to our website and subscribe that, or there's a QR code to do so. All right, now let's look at the Robie FA collection for this week, the 17th of July in here. We like KGB. All right, and how are you going to get that? Switch on to main menu, go over to Robie FA collection here, and you have about 5 of them. All right, 5 of them here. First one is KGB. So I'm just going to hit 0151. Okay, go to the chart. All right, it's up 2% very nicely this morning in here. Push up and switch to the 1 month chart. You can see this just turned Green Pentagon in here. A nice one. Let's check out the fundamentals, and also let's check out the news too. I want to see any good news coming out from this. I can see they're back another project on the July 4th. Okay, and more robust with planners, net profit double first quarter, okay, so we Belgium leave, so lots of winning of the project here, so that seems to be very positive, the sentiment. Next we're going to look at the stocks fundamental. Okay, stocks fundamental here. Check it out in here. 171 for so-called PE of 75 points if they do re-rate this. Right now is about 140, I believe is intrinsic value is 236 minus 152. All right, so it does give a 12% upside. Sector average is 25 times, so this is only 15 times. Sector average for the return of equity is 9 times, and this is 24 times. Okay, pays a dividend in here, so not too bad. 3-year KAGE is accumulated price growth of 46% in here. Okay, something that to take note in here. And floating shares about 72% in here. Lots of floating shares. So next one we have is FPI, which is the Taiwanese speaker making. Okay, first of all we want to check out the stocks fundamental first, since we are looking at the Robie FA. So this one pays a very good dividend, much better than the banks. 8% dividend, and partly this is again a Taiwanese company, so usually they want to repatriate back of the net profit back to their home corporate office in Taiwan, and that's why they pay 8%. PE only 6 times, so really cheap in here with the 19%. But because they make speakers, not the kind of sexy kind of things that you can do, simple website, so you can check it out there. All these speakers, sometimes people think where got people buy speaker anymore, all using handphone or buying those Bluetooth, but I do think that some of these are Bluetooth speakers in here. But nevertheless, on the financial metrics that you see in here, things are pretty good. All right, we got Kevin also want me to take a look at B Plan Plus. We got Grace want me to look at that. Sure, we'll take a look at that later on. Okay, and KGB, the sister chart that we've seen right now, pretty good one here. Green Pentagon started to move up, and we also have a very low risk to reward, a nice low risk, a nice stage 1 accumulation. Those of you who are familiar, and this is one of the stocks to pick up in here after the big sell-off that we have in May, right? Took May, June, July, almost 2 months, right? 2 months. Usually we do see about 7 to 8 weeks of market movement. A very classic what Tom William told me about the market moving up. All right, and so those are the shares, and of course we have the those of you who are first time, the unique proposition of Pentagon Guider with the green Pentagon and red Pentagon denoting up signal and down signal in here. So make sure you use them. There are some tutorials in here, and especially right now, do check out the SmartRobie apps, Pentagon Guider Alert. They usually get alert at evening, about after 10:30 onwards. So especially some of those stocks that you have been monitoring, whether the green Pentagon or red Pentagon comes out, make sure you can also set it. And not only that, you can also set up for the SGX, the US stocks, the KLSE. Lots of benefit and absolutely freebie, right? So all you gotta do is go over to the investment tab menu, create a watch list and add them in, right? And if you do see a blue box, a blue cell in here, that means a green Pentagon will alert, but it also alert on your front of your phone in here. And once you go in, you can really add the stocks in here, but the blue cell is when they're showing you there is an alert here, and you can also select the stocks. So when there's a red Pentagon that you see above me here, it's green and it's red, and you can see right at the bottom here, this one here, this is where you will get the alert. A very good feature in here telling you the up signal and down signal with the Pentagon Alert in here, notifying you on your SmartRobie. So make sure you set it up in here and earn more. And if you do earn, do spread the good word, or at least go over to our feedback in our apps Google there and share with us some of your success in here. We do appreciate, or share it with your friends in here, and we try to enable this stocks app to be free for at least for the time being. Okay, I think eventually we probably need to do that. So in summary, what do you think the market is? KLCI is supported and likely to move up higher in here. The Robie FA list is some of those great stocks in here. We've gone through tough times, to be frank with you, and we are coming out from it. Patience, most important is patience, and not giving up on the stock market in here. We are on a crossroad in here, and if the election are favorable, then it will move more to the side of the higher market in here, playing catch up in here. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and looking also to our TikTok. All right, following in here. And those of you who are interested in our VSA 360, go ahead and subscribe to it with the new features that we have, notifying you of some major report. All right, now we're going to look at some of the stocks these members were looking at. So I'm just going to use the public bank. All right, I'm going to use since I want to use a wider chart, and we do recommend members or client to use the VSA 360 in here. All right, public bank. Now, public bank just turned Green Pentagon yesterday. Again, very similar to FPI. All right, if you look at it, FPI, low risk to reward in here. Lots of room to swing up in here. Of course, of all banks, public bank has been one of the worst performer. Right? If you look at Maybank, CIMB Bank, because public bank have never able to innovate out from it. You can see, right? Up. Public bank down. All right. Being conservative finally takes a toll on this company in here. And what's the other stocks that one of the members want me to look at? I think, yes, Tenaga, these are dividend stocks, conservative stocks, and usually they will fare. Same thing also, Green Pentagon, all this eventually, just think in mind, the KLCI is looking for recovery right now. Some of these big cap stock, Tenaga, Public Bank, right, will have to move up. And if you do move up, not much, remember, because we still have the over resistance in here. Right now, risk to reward is lower. Check out the Tenaga dividend rate. That will kind of give you where the market is going for. We have B plant. Okay, Bolstead Plantation here. Right, nice one in here. We have NS. Do take note of this in here, because this one is going public. So there is not much of an upside. I do think that there was some news. Okay, check out B plant. Okay, B plant, let me just put here B plant here. Now if you have any more stocks want me to look at, just feel free to pencil those in here. Put on to the news for B plant, and you can see no longer viewed as a premium products to delist June 28 onwards. Okay, so that's for Bolstead. All right, that's the mother share anyway. This one is Bolstead Plantation in here. So who knows whether it'll break up, but I would take some profit, but I would not buy here. Okay, I would not buy here, but we can also check out the so-called the FA first. So what kind of FA for plantations? 14%. Wow, dividend pretty good. ROE only 5. Okay, PE of 13 times, which is very close to sector average in here. So chart wise, not so good. Fundamental, especially from a dividend, is pretty good. Oh, Inari started to break up. I think that is a no-brainer with the technology movement. Inari, you can see that started to break up. Of course, there are a lot of buying by from the VSA 360. The foreign funds are buying in here. I think this one in here, eventually you will see the market turn back down and you have the pullback. All right, do take note, if tonight the US market is sort of a pullback, and you'll see in a longer run, do learn how to buy on a pullback, where you see in here with the NS was a good entry here, maybe around 276 here, and now already up. I think some of you who've been following us in our morning podcast did pick up this. All right, Kevin. Okay, so that's all we have for this morning. Thank you for coming, thank you for your support, and we'll be back on Wednesday for another great talk. If you have not joined our Telegram chat room in here, or try out our 10-day free trial for our VSA 360, do check it out in here. And all information that we do here are for educational purpose. Thank you for coming. See you soon.